Today's video, I want to talk to you guys about being comfortable and having comfort and convenience when we're tying our flies. So a lot of us tie flies for several hours a day, and if you haven't and you're getting into it, there will be times that you will. Now, I'm an extreme case. I tie probably 5 to 10 hours a day some days, and I tie probably 50 weeks a year. So I tie a lot of flies. I've got a lot of people who buy flies from me. I deliver them to certain places, and with that said, I've got to sit here and tie for quite a bit. And when I'm at my bench, I want to be as comfortable as I can. And if you're sitting tying flies for very long, you know your eyes get sore, your back gets sore, sometimes your shoulders get sore. And when you start to get older as I am, you'll really know the difference. So this is going to help you old guys out a lot. But you young guys, it'll make your hobby way more enjoyable and it'll be easier on your body. So with that said, over the years, there's a fly flying around in here. Sorry about that. Over the years, I have had multiple surgeries. Pretty much every limb on my body and my neck I have been cut on. So I cramp up and I've got pretty bad arthritis. So I need to be able to get around and move around pretty conveniently. So I like an office chair with wheels and I like one with armrest, and get you a good one. And if you're sitting there tying and your leg gets cramped, I can kind of push my chair back. I can stretch my legs out. I can move around a little bit and then slide right back into my desk. A good office chair is a must. Now, office chairs can get crazy expensive, so get the best one that you can afford and do not chintz on that. That is one of the number one things I would suggest if somebody is going to tie flies for long periods of time, is a good office chair. Now, with that said, I have never found an office chair that has great lumbar support. So I have one of these. Now, I've had one of these things for a long time. Back when I was an administrator in law enforcement, I would have to sit at a desk for hours and hours and hours a day, overseeing reports and stuff like that. And man, I got backaches. So I bought one of these things and put it in my chair. Actually, my wife bought me one, and it changed everything. You can see the amount of distance it does. So basically, when it's on your chair, it pushes your back out. So if you're sitting there typing, you lose the backache. Well, this isn't any different. If you're sitting at a desk tying flies, it's the same deal. It pushes you out, gives you better posture, which is going to give you a better time when you're tying flies and way less backaches. So with that said, if we're sitting at a desk typing, we're sitting like this. But when we're tying flies, we're leaning in and we're looking and we're tying. So with that said, there's two things that I think everybody should do that's really going to help with that problem. The number one, get a magnifier. Now, they can be expensive. Now, this thing here, I got it at Hobby Lobby. It was like 17 bucks. And I've tried multiple of the more expensive ones, some of them that were over $100. This is my favorite. It is a 5.5-inch lens. It has a clip or a pedestal. Now, I use the clip because I clip it onto a board right in front. I keep it 5-6 inches away from my fly, so my hands are never bumping into it. It never gets in the way. Now, this not only helps with your vision of things, but it also helps with the quality of the fly that you're creating. When you're tying flies and you're looking at them through a magnifying lens, everything is amplified, including your errors. So if you're tying a fly and it looks good under a magnifying lens, when you pull it out, it's going to be an awesome fly. Because if you see an error that looks bad under a magnifying lens and you pull it out and look at it, a lot of times you don't see that. So when you can get them perfect under a magnifying lens, they're really going to look really, really awesome when you pull them out from underneath there. So it really improves the product and the quality of fly that you're tying. Now, I'm going to lower this down for just a second. You can see I have a block of wood here. Now, this is just a 1x. It's 3/4 of an inch is all. But you can see if I'm sitting here tying and I just raise my hands an inch, my whole body went back. So raising your fly tying vise really helps. If you can raise your fly tying vise, if I tie for a lot, I have a big block of wood that I sit that on, and I can sit and tie up high like this. And it really, really relieves that backache. So just being able to be up straight and have better posture. So if you're sitting at a traditional desk, a traditional table, and a traditional chair, they're not designed for fly tyers. So raise your vise up. A block of wood will do all the world of difference. Now, underneath that block of wood, I have some craft foam, and I glued it down so that it doesn't slide, because a block of wood on a block of wood or a desk will slide. So if you're stacking things up, put like a piece of felt or a piece of foam, and it will keep it from moving around and wiggling on you. Them two things alone, the lumbar support, not having to get in there with your eyes to be able to look and see, keeps you from leaning in and will alleviate, I would say, 90% of your backaches. I can sit and tie for hours that I couldn't before I started doing these things, and it really helps a lot. The next thing is a good light. And you can see this light here is just a little simple pedestal light. I got this thing on Amazon, I think. It was like 20 bucks. Again, not an expensive light. and it has a pretty bright LED light, and you can dim it, adjust it however you want. Now, they make magnifying lenses that have lights. I don't like them. To each their own. Everybody's got their own opinion. But I like my magnifier a little bit closer to my face and my light above what I'm looking at, and it seems to help me a lot. So if you're sitting in a chair, you got good posture, and you're reaching up and not reaching down, your backache is done, your shoulders quit hurting, the magnifying lens keeps your eyes from hurting. You can sit at your bench for way, way longer periods of time by doing that. The next thing, and I've talked about this in a different video, is an extended magnet. And a guy on one of you subscribers showed this to me. So if you drop a hook or anything, instead of having to reach down and do all that and grunting around, get you one of these and click and you can pick it up. And this thing is the greatest trick ever because you're never losing anything. So if you have something that drops, you can just bend over and pick it up. Now I run this thing just kind of through my tie-in area probably once a week, just a thorough sweep, because I'm always dropping stuff. I mean, I've got hooks piled up galore. I mean, you can see these are, I keep tubs. You know, I go through quite a bit of material. So while I'm tying, I drop crap all the time. So if you have a good magnet, it keeps you from having to bend over. Light and magnifying is going to change everything. Raising your bench up to where you aren't bent over and supporting your lower back is going to change everything. And when you tie, get up and stretch. I tie for about a half an hour, then I'll get up and I'll go get a drink, go to the bathroom, anything like that I need to do. Then I'll come sit down for another half an hour. And I do it in intervals like that, and then I get up, stretch for a couple minutes, and it just makes it so much smoother. If you sit still so long, your body eventually locks up and it really becomes a problem for you. These little tips, I'm telling you guys, it's night and day difference. If you do these things, you will not be cramping and aching, and you old guys are going to appreciate this. You younger guys are probably shaking your head going, that'll never happen, and it'll sneak up on you. So take advantage of it now and prevent those things from happening, and it will improve your quality of fly tying. I hope this helps you guys, and we will see you in the next video.